You alright guys, how's it going? It is David Clayton from KZR Racing once again, and welcome back to my F1 Manager 22 career mode for the final round of Season 2 at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. If you guys did this last episode, do feel free to check out my channel. The playlist will be there along with all the other videos. Not a lot of stuff to do, just a few bits of admin detail in the emails as we skip through mainly to the practice session. If we just go through the emails, it's pretty much all the standard stuff that you're used to seeing right now. As for our drivers and staff, I am pretty sure none of them have... Oh no, the technical chief has a development point, which we will use on the... We'll use on the front wing. A little bit more on the aerodynamic side, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, not a lot of stuff to go through. Everything's all pretty much good to go. So reach Q3, go through all of this. Same as before. Don't worry about the fastest lap. And yep, that's all well and good. So without wasting any time for this final round of the season, let us go into practice for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Okay, we're going to have a little bit more fun with this one. We've already wrapped up what we need to in the constructors, which was our main point of calls. So, we will swap out Sebastian for Jack. I remember we swapped out Gasly last time, so we'll get him in for practice 1 and do the simulation. Still a few people with penalties even in this last race of the season. So, Perez, Stroll, Ricardo Albon, and then our guys here. So that's all well and good. I forgot to check the setup confidence. Oh, Gasly's already got 85% setup confidence. That's really good on a first attempt. We'll have to look into that and manage to get Sebastian 65. So that's all looking good. So I'm going to go through all the setups for these guys, and then I'll see you at the end of practice, providing nothing happens in between. Okay, guys, not looking too good. I simulated the third session because the second session was just getting on my nerves with the fact that Gasly's setup confidence was just dropping and dropping. But the game has simulated 88% setup confidence and 74% for Sebastian. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. I'm not gonna mess around with it anymore. So we're gonna go in the qualifying and see how the and see how the guys perform at the end of. I'm gonna leave. Yeah, I'm not messing around with it anymore. I'm just gonna let it play out as is. So we'll go to the end of qualifying and see how we perform, see how we place in the race. Okay, we're just coming up to the end of our final lap in Q2, and I don't think we're going to improve because Hamilton crashed out just where we went through, which means we're going to be slow. And yeah, well, we did improve, but barely. So Hamilton's crash cost us improving in that last session. So yeah, not going to lie, we probably could have been where Hamilton was, P12, but that would have been better than where we are. But Hamilton crashing out really put a dampener on that. So we're starting P12 anyway because of the penalties that people have gotten, and P14 as well. So let us have a look at the strategies. Well, there's a 1 stop and a 2 stop. So what does the 1 stop look like? Oh no, that's going to be 2 touch and go for that one. Softs can go pretty far. Let's have a little play around with this. Hang on. So yeah, that's not going to work. So softs and 2 sets of mediums it is then. Or, see, even that's going to be touchy. You know what, no gap. You know what, no Campbell, no glory. We'll give that a go for Sebastian, why not? It's the last race of the season. Let's go and have a little bit of fun with it. I'm going to do a bit more of a conventional 2-stop for Gasly. So we will go on to this one. Whoops. Just so we can do this and then this. So now, we do that and then, whoop. If we do that, that'll give us a little bit more rain to go a little bit harder on the tyres if we do it this way. So we'll do this for Gasly. And then the fuel, we can only go that far anyway, so, and then driver options, aggressive fuel usage and ERS off the start. And then the same for Gasly. Aggressive ERS and fuel usage off the start. So, without further ado, let's go into the final round of 2023, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
There's a very overcast night in store for the drivers who are now lined up on the grid. And there we have Pierre Gasly. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. And for the second driver, it's Sebastian Vettel. They're starting in the bottom half of the grid today, so there's a lot of cars between them and the podium. And we're just moments away now. Hold on tight.
All right, for the final time in this season, green flag at the back and 5 red lights to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and we are away. Here we go. So on board with Gasly. He's actually gotten Hamilton off the line, as has Sebastian. So this is actually a good start from both of them, especially with Vettel, who's on the softer tyres. So we're going to leave them on. We're going to leave them both on deploy down these 2 long straights. So as for Gasly, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly, don't fight your teammate, and then let him, there we go, because Sebastian's on the faster tyre. I want him to get as many places as possible before we head into the next part of the race. So we're going to go back to standard for Sebastian. We're going to leave Gasly, actually no, we're going to go back to standard for him as well. But Sebastian, he's having a look. It's not going to come to anything on Alonso. So now, put both these guys back to neutral on the ERS. It's a good start, actually. We've pulled a bit of a gap to Hamilton already, so Hamilton obviously must still be a little shaken up from his crash in qualifying. But, yeah, mixed grid at the moment. Half the field, so majority of the field are on mediums, but quite a few of them are actually on softs as well. That includes Verstappen, Sainz, Russell, Ocon, Vettel, Hamilton as well, and Tsunoda. But everything is pretty good off the start. So those of you who watched the last episode, providing that this game doesn't try anything funny with us again, like it did before in Brazil, we could potentially be on for some points to end the season with. It's going to be a long race, 58 laps around Marina, so We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. So, I'm going to stick with, go on board with Vettel down the straight here, as he follows Fernando Alonso, who in turn is actually tasting Guan Yu Zhou. Guan Yu Zhou is actually, talk about some of the other drivers, Guan Yu Zhou has actually had a really good season for AlphaTauri, very underrated. He's got several top 5 finishes to his name. So, very underrated season for him. Magnussen as well, he's had a semi-decent season, marred by some bad luck. But all in all, pretty good from him. They were 2 of the standout drivers for me this year, outside of obviously Gasly. Gasly's just been brilliant, what he's done this year. So, DRS is now active. Bottas has now gotten ahead of Hamilton as well. So, Hamilton is having a shocker so far at the start of this race, as opposed to the start that we got. We're actually in a very good position. So now I'm going to switch to Vettel. I don't think Vettel... I'm just going to leave Vettel to follow in the DRS of Alonso, because he's still... I think Alonso, yeah, he's still got the DRS off of Zhou for the moment. Unfortunately, Gasly is now slipped out of DRS range of Vettel, and he's under attack from Bottas now. Bottas will get the line, but he'll get to the detection point before Gasly, and there you go.
Still a lot to play for.
Gasly's going to get that place back with relative ease. So now, what I'm going to do with Gasly is I'm going to put him on aggressive.
We think we can lean on the tyres more.
Lean on the tyre, yeah, lean on the tyres just a little bit more. And now is also the point where I'm going to switch both of these guys onto balanced on the fuel, just to save a little bit of it.
So Sebastian, we are all okay on fuel, all okay on fuel. So you can do what you want on the speed.
So, for Sebastian, he's going to be at the back of this train for a little while. I don't want to push him too hard. So, unless Alonso falls out of the DRS train, which he might have just done here, we'll give it a go. If Alonso doesn't get DRS, I don't think he has. No, he has not. So, Vettel,
Happy to push. Okay, copy.
there he goes. He's going to get ahead of Sebastian.
That's it.
And he's going to get the DRS off the guys in front as well. So, we can put him
So back off.
back to normal.
Copy.
As for Gasly, again, he's embroiled in his battle with Bottas. Bottas, I believe, is also on the mediums. So I'm actually going to back off with Gasly just for the time being. And oh my God! Oh my... I just watched that as I changed Gasly's settings. Bottas locked up and almost ran straight into the back of Pierre. Look at how close that was. Bottas kept it out of the wall, but oh my.
The team are really disappointed with that. Let's hope it doesn't set them back too
The
bad.
tyres literally almost like scraped the Pirelli like yellow off the sidewall of the tyre with how close that was. That was incredible that they did not collide. But all that means is actually, I've only just noticed this, Hulkenberg is now ahead of Hamilton. So Hamilton is having an absolute shocker here in the last round at Abu Dhabi. Vettel, meanwhile, he's still got DRS, so he's able to keep out of reach of Alonso. He'll gain in the braking zone on Magnussen and get back into DRS range again. that's the nature of this section of Abu Dhabi. If you're pretty good on the brakes, you can keep well within DRS, even if you don't have the pace in a straight line. So yeah, Gasly's got what's that? 4.2 second gap to Magnussen. So I'm perfectly content to let Gasly cruise here and go a little bit longer on his stint if need be. Whereas Sebastian, he's going to do a little bit more with the pace that he's got, as Magnussen has now gotten ahead of Guan Yu Zhou. So these guys have dropped out of range of Perez. There's a good scrap for fourth here, which is being led by Ocon. He was in seventh, but he slowly crept up the front of this pack. So this is how much more Alpine developed on this season than I did, because I did not allow. I did not go into this much development for this season because I wanted to focus solely on. Well, I developed early at the start of the season, but I didn't go all the way to what these guys have done at Alpine. As now Norris is going to make a move now on the Alpine. Who got to the detection point first? It was Norris, and Ocon's going to get DRS and pull away again. But, yeah, the rate of development that Alpine put into the end of this season is very telling. Because I believe I stopped developing for this year and started focusing on next year at around, I think it was Silverstone, actually, when I stopped developing. So, you can tell the telltale signs, because this is how far we've dropped back, just scrabbling for like fringe points at the moment, as opposed to being like consistently like P6 and P7 with Gasly throughout majority of the season. But this is yeah, this is a really good development from Alpine. Depending on what they like perform next year, we could still very well be fighting them if they're if they still have this good of a car. But then again, it depends on how far they focused on next year. If they're still showing this kind of pace early on. But no, up front, the two Ferraris, Leclerc ahead of Sainz, is scrapping with Verstappen. Who's Leclerc was ahead, but Verstappen's now retaking the lead. And nearly, Leclerc nearly had a look up the inside there. My engineer just came through, and Vettel has lost the place to Alonso. But like I said, I'm not too fussed about that, because I know Vettel's going to stick with Alonso until when he needs to come in. Plus Alonso, like I say, he's in a faster car, so he's going to pull us back into that train ahead of Magnussen and Zhou. So, all's good at the moment. So, I'm going to skip ahead now. Whoops. I'm going to skip ahead now and see where Vettel is come his first stop. Well, Vettel, during the fight, Vettel re-overtook Alonso down the back straight here, going into this long left-hander. He just managed to squeak ahead, but I noticed on the mini-map as I was speeding up that Alonso dropped away, and there's why. He locked up and went wide at the exact same place Bottas did. So Vettel's got a little bit of breathing room now, and Gasly, we're going to take advantage of this, is right on the back of Alonso.
No saving required.
Okay. So here goes Gasly. And it is a clean slam dunk move
Just keep doing
at the end of the first part of the back straight. But now,
use energy.
Alonso's going to have DRS on this second spot. So we've gone on to Beloit, using the fuel and aggressive on the tyres just to try and defend this if we can. And we just do it. There's a spin from one of the Williams cars. Yeah, we've got a little bit of fuel to play with Gasly, so we'll see if we can pick up the pace a little bit. But I'm happy to see Vettel's got a little bit of breathing room now. Gasly is now going to contend with Alonso. Alonso's tyres are around the same as ours, so depending on when he stops, and depending on when we stop actually, because we've still got a fair bit of tyre to play with, so I'm going to leave it until lap 15 with Gasly, and then I'm going to pick up the pace on the tyres. I'm going to go on aggressive to try and eke out a little bit of a gap and also catch up to Vettel, because it'll be around that time when Vettel comes in for his stop. Yeah, he'll be coming in on lap 16, whereas Gasly will be lap 18. But I may stretch that depending on how things go, as Alonso now goes side by side with Pierre. Gasly. Alonso's going to get to the detection point first, but Gasly is still side by side and will get the DRS. That opens up. We'll use the fuel all the way down this straight. Gasly clears him just before the corner, so we'll go back to balanced to save the fuel.
Save fuel, save fuel.
As for Sebastian, we'll go pushing a little bit with him, try and pick up the pace a little bit. I don't want to go too heavy on the fuel with this one. But the pace difference is telling now, because these guys have all caught up to Ocon, who's holding back the faster Red Bull behind him, along with a McLaren and a Mercedes as well. And that's allowed Zhou and Magnussen to get into their DRS range, and that's left Sebastian behind. But we'll see how Sebastian's second stints go, because he's... Oh, safety car's come out. A safety car's just come out for something, but... I could switch it up and bring him in into the hard tyres for the middle sit and put him on mediums at the end, which is what I'm leaning to. I think that is the better call. So I'm going to bring Gasly in now. I am going to double stack them, which is a little bit annoying. So what I'm going to do is Sebastian, I'm going to boost a little bit. But Gasly, I'm going to put him on what he's doing, but I'm also going to put him on hold back, just to give Sebastian a little bit of breathing room between them when they come into the pits. So I've already sorted their pit stops out. They're both coming in. They are going to double stack, unfortunately, but as is the nature. And Magnussen, where was he? He dropped. Oh, he dropped back quite a bit from Zhou, actually. So I'm wondering if K-Mag's tyres have gone off. Whether they dropped out the operating window, maybe. That's a possibility. But here's Ocon in P4. Leclerc's gotten back ahead of Verstappen. So it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do. Gasly, this is good from Gasly. As for Sebastian, I just need Gasly to put a little bit of distance between himself and his teammate. But Leclerc has stayed out. Verstappen and Sainz are in. Oh, a Ferrari done a Ferrari here. Have they actually botched this spectacularly? Because 64%. In comes Ocon. Russell's in. Perez and Norris stay out. Zhou has stayed out. In comes Vettel. Bring Gasly in. Alonso stays out. Okay, it wasn't long until the end of the safety car. So let's get a little bit of time up to where we come under the hotel. Now, aggressive, push, push, aggressive.
Yeah, copy.
And for Sebastian,
We just need to push now.
Okay.
right, deploy and deploy. We're going to go all out here. Vettel's actually on the back of Russell. Russell was the only one of that front group fighting for P4 to actually come in and make a stop. So now Gasly's just done a massive dive down the inside of one of the Williams, and the second Williams has gone straight on and hit the wall. Sonoda it was who's hit the wall, and Schumacher caught completely unaware by Gasly as Gasly just sneaks in and snatches a free position at turn 1, completely catching Schumacher off guard. And now Sebastian is looking at the back of George Russell. Is he going to make a dive bomb here? He is, down the inside, but he thinks a little bit better of it in the second part of the braking zone. He probably could have made a dive there, but I don't think he wanted to hit Bottas, especially after what happened before. And here goes Sebastian again. He's going to have a look around the outside now. But Russell shuts the door. Nearly. Sebastian had to think about it, but it didn't really amount to anything. So, no, we're going to put
Lift and coast.
standard, and then we're going to go neutral and standard as well for Gasly.
Copy.
So, good restart all in all from both Sebastian and Pierre. So now we're going to settle into this stage. Gasly, I need to make sure he doesn't fight Sebastian. Just needs to stick with him. That's all I need him to do for this moment in time. Verstappen up front has already taken the lead back from Leclerc. So Leclerc, they really should have picked Leclerc instead of Sainz under the safety car. Now Ferrari are paying for it. They really should implement team orders and let Sainz go, because he's the one with a better chance now of taking that win from Verstappen. We got Perez, who's now clear of Ocon. He's free to get on and break away from these guys. Norris, Zhou, Alonso, Stroll, Hulkenberg and Ricciardo round out the top 10. But not for long. Hulkenberg has already gotten side by side with Ricciardo. Ricciardo's going to have the inside line and hold that through though. Ocon doesn't really need to do this because all the guys in front of him up to P4 are going to stop again. Or make their first stops, I should say. So he doesn't really need to do this. And then Albon, Bottas, they've got to make their stops. Gasly, fortunately, has already cleared Schumacher. Schumacher, though, is catching up, and Gasly's already dropped away from Sebastian on the hard tyres, but we are playing a bit more of a longer game with Gasly. Sebastian, I need to be a bit more conservative with his tyres now, because we stopped earlier. So I need to be a bit more careful with Sebastian's tyre wear going through these laps. So we're going to fast forward to when all these other guys make their pit stops and see where we stand in the grand scheme of things. Although Vettel, again, he's got DRS, but he can't quite pull alongside because Russell stayed in the tow of Bottas ahead of him. That's not... I thought Sebastian would have made that dive around the outside, but Sebastian obviously himself thinking about the bigger picture here. Obviously, of course, it was Bottas who nearly wiped out Gasly. He would have been told that over the radio, so obviously he doesn't want to get too close to the Alfa Romeos, especially when they're on worn tyres. So we'll skip ahead now and see how far we get up after everyone else makes their stops. Okay, quite a lot of stuff's happening.
Now look at this.
Stroll, who wasn't too far ahead of us, he's just locked up and gone off.
They've locked up.
Going towards the hotel section. And that's allowed us to get ahead of him with both cars.
And that
So that's a loss for Stroll. But as you can see, on the left-hand side, Bottas, Ricciardo, Stroll as well, and Mick Schumacher, who's already behind us, have now made their stops. So now we're only waiting on Albon, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Norris, Zhou and Perez and Leclerc. They're the only ones we're waiting on to make their stops now. We're up to P11 and P12 respectively. But now, we're now looking at, as Albon now has a look at Hulkenberg. He's going to make the move. Sebastian holds station. Play this a little bit smart. We're not... we don't want to make any unnecessary mistakes in this situation we're in. Hulkenberg's going to get the DRS off of Bottas. Now here's Sebastian. He's going to make a lunge down the inside. He goes for it this time and makes it stick. He's up into P10 now. Brilliant move from Sebastian. He's definitely found his groove in these last couple of races. So much better than what he was before this whole season. And obviously that period where he had multiple accidents and spins. Sebastian Vettel's definitely found his mojo in these last couple of races. And weaves about behind Albon, old nemesis from Williams, and we still always seem to find each other, ourselves and Albon. Just never seems to be too far away, no matter what we do. But another driver's locked up somewhere. It's just come through at sector 3. It's probably one of the last place cars, but we're in prime position on Albon, so we're going to try and make this stick. And it's Stroll who's locked up again. But Sebastian easily clears Albon down the straight. Albon's tyres are definitely fading away now. So we're going to put Sebastian on deploy to try and keep this position. And hopefully try and pull away from Albon, which handily we do down the straight by a huge margin. So now Sebastian up into P9 now. But like I said, we've still got a few cars ahead to pit yet. So Gasly biding his time. He's on the harder tyres, so he'll quite happily wait this one out. He's on 81% at the moment. And there's a few more pit. Alonso's pit. Perez, Ocon, Zhou, Norris, Albon, Hulkenberg, they all come in. So Vettel is going to make his way up to what will be P5 and Gasly P6. So coming in earlier was definitely the right call. Perez, he's the first one to come out of the pits now. On what I assume to be hard tyres. Yes, he is. So he's going to try and make those tyres go all the way to the end. The hard tyres can do it, even with Gasly, so... But I do feel that if I push Gasly and go on to a second set of medium tyres, that'll probably be better. We're not fighting the Red Bulls. So I'm not even going to waste my time like entertaining that notion. But we're definitely in a position now with both cars to score points. So for Sebastian, he's originally supposed to go until, it says lap 32 on, it's lap 37, sorry, but I'm going to try and get that to lap 39 is what I need to aim for. There's Leclerc now pits. He's the last of the guys on those medium tyres to pit now. So that's going to put Ocon up into P3. There goes Ocon up into P3. Leclerc's changed his tyres. Here come our guys down the pit straight. Leclerc's going to go underneath the tunnel. Shorter route, but I think, yep, there we go. There goes Sebastian. And there goes Gasly. So we've cleared Leclerc, which means Leclerc's got to waste more time getting past us before he can start chasing after Verstappen and Sainz. But like I said, we're low on fuel now, so I'm going to put them back onto balance. I'm not going to fight Leclerc. We're not in his race. So Leclerc is going to pull out the last minute. He's going to make a move around the outside into this chicane here. Easy as you like. Although I fear Gasly might get the DRS and come straight back at him. Gasly has been known to do this sort of thing. He's going to have a look. Nope, Leclerc's just got the legs on him, so that's understandable. Vettel now in P4. He's going to have Leclerc behind him, but like I said, I'm not fighting Leclerc. So we're going to skip ahead now and see what we can do with Sebastian. Sebastian, I may just put him on the hard tyres at the end and just go a little bit more aggressive with them, just to be on the safe side. And there's another yellow flag that's come up. This is a real accident-prone race, this one.
Yellow exit of 6.
And it's Verstappen!
Now here we see
Verstappen leading comfortably and spins clean out at the hairpin. He looks like he's kept the lead, and he's still got a bit of a gap between him and Sainz, so Sainz couldn't really take advantage of that. There's another lock-up somewhere. Who's locked up this time? Just wait for the notification. It's Hulkenberg who's locked up. Perez has cleared Hamilton, who's now going to be chasing down Gasly and Vettel. And Leclerc hasn't cleared Vettel here, but I get the feeling he's definitely going to make the move down here. Ferrari is so much faster than us at the moment. So Leclerc, is he going to make that move? No, he's not. Leclerc really not. I thought Leclerc would have cleared Vettel by now, but it's definitely a lot harder to get past someone on mediums than it is on hards, the same as you. As you can see, Leclerc is on hards. He's definitely going to the end. Verstappen, Sainz and Ocon may be stopping again, but we'll have to see. Because I know for a fact Perez is going to the end. Perez and Leclerc are definitely going to the end from where they are. The hard tyres will definitely do it. As he's now, Perez is now actually slowly catching up to us. Leclerc again has another look into turn one, but nothing comes of it. Leclerc really needs to get past Vettel to make this one stop work. So now Vettel holds the inside line. Leclerc's going to have a look round. Oh, this is going to be a brave move if he makes it. He doesn't quite make it, but he's going to get DRS anyway, and he's going to power pass down the straight. So that's definitely all she rose there. Down to P5, but that's fine. Now Gasly is caught up to the back of Vettel now. But both of them are going to get DRS here off of the Ferrari. They won't catch them, but Gasly, meanwhile, know how he is with his moves sometimes. He likes to have a little look. But yeah, that's state of things so far, guys. So, depending on how Vettel's tyres do, I'm going to wait until we bring him in for that stop. And then when he does, I will probably let Gasly loose a little bit on his tyres, even though he's just said his tyres are still overheating. But then again, he is behind Vettel, so we'll skip ahead and see how long Vettel's tyres last before we have to bring him in. Okay, we just skipped through. Lap 45, 46 now. And there's been a multiple car crash with a safety car now come out. We're all okay. So we're going to conserve. It's
Let's take a
Sonoda.
closer look. Now let's look at
Sonoda
this.
crashed
The
out.
focus on Sonoda.
And oh! Sonoda had his own crash, but Hamilton took out Schumacher. In exactly the same place.
Cars have crashed.
And all three of them are
Now,
out.
just watch the Mercedes here.
Watch. Hamilton misses his braking point, careers into the back of Schumacher,
Back there.
and Sonoda has his own crash in the midst of all that. That is so bizarre. Okay, the safety car's coming in now with 9 laps to go at the start of the next one. Vettel is the only person on hard tyres amidst a sea of medium and softs. So I'm going to ask Vettel to put in an absolute effort here to try and make this work. Well, I'll wait until the last possible minute before I switch their tyres on and put them on deploy. So as we go around this corner, right, on pause.
Yeah, copy.
Aggressive, push, deploy. Aggressive, push, deploy on both guys. I'm going to leave them on aggressive until the end. They've got the tyres for it. Both of them do. And I'm going to leave them on pushing as well for as long as I possibly dare. So, here we go. Verstappen.
So we just need to push now.
Yeah.
Verstappen bolts. And here we go. Here we go. 9 laps to the end. That was going to lose a little. Sorry, guys. Something hurt right there. Verstappen, Vettel's going to lose a little bit of ground, unfortunately, but that is the way with the tyres at the moment. Meanwhile, Gasly is having a look at Ricciardo. Thinks about a look down the inside, thinks better of it.
This is good. Come on.
So now, we're going to follow these guys through. Put back onto neutral on the EOS now before we waste all of that. So now Gasly makes a massive dive on Ricciardo into the hotel section. He's going to hang this around the outside and he's going to get into the points, hopefully. Yes, he does. Brilliant move from Gasly.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race
So now,
position.
we're both into the points now. Vettel's doing everything he can with his mediums to hold on, but I feel it's going to be a matter of time before Norris gets past him. He is on the soft tyres compared to our hards. Okay, here we are now. Last lap of the Grand Prix. Vettel did his best. Unfortunately, the tyres were letting him down, so I've got him on hold back. Holding back all these guys, and now I'm going to put them both onto attack. Last lap of the race. No need to conserve.
Copy.
I'm going to hold off on the deploy for the moment.
Do everything you can, mate.
As for Gasly, now we're going to put him on deploy until the end of the lap.
You need it.
Yeah.
Same with Vettel now.
Use energy if you need.
I'm going to keep him on holding back those cars behind because it seems to be working for him. Meanwhile, Gasly still holding on to that 9th place ahead of Fernando Alonso. He's going to hopefully hold it down the end of this straight, which he does. Vettel, unfortunately, is just going to lose out to Ricciardo. No, he gets it back. Holds it around the outside. Brilliantly done from Sebastian. Ricciardo is going to try and hold on as best he can, but it's not going to happen.
Aston Martin with a great
Vettel just is going to hold this through. Max Verstappen wins the final race of the season ahead of Sainz and Leclerc, and Gasly is going to hold on to that P9, and Vettel is going to hold on to P11. So that's not a bad final race, actually. Really good driving from both guys. Vettel's positioning doesn't really tell the full story of how well he did this race. But Pierre Gasly, P9, we scored points in the final race of the season. I can't complain with that. And additionally, because of Hamilton's non-finish, as confirmation of results, Verstappen wins the final round to cap off his championship-winning year ahead of Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. That rounds out the podium. And then Perez, and what did I say, Guan Yu Zhou, another 5th place for him in AlphaTauri, and that no doubt secures AlphaTauri's position ahead of Haas in the Constructors. Ocon, Norris, Bottas, Gasly and Alonso round out the top 10. And there's the confirmation. Pierre Gasly does maintain that 5th place in the Drivers' Championship. Best of the rest. Brilliant season for our new debut signing this year. Sebastian down in P15. Didn't have a great season until towards those last 2 races. So hopefully that's telltale signs for next year. Hopefully that will give him a good confidence going into next year. Sorry, I have a bad tooth at the moment. That's why you probably hear me go silent briefly for every so often. And in the Constructors, say there you go. AlphaTauri overtakes Haas for 8th in the Constructors' Championship. Behind Alfa Romeo, McLaren P6. Couldn't quite get Alpine, who got both their cars into the points. P4 for us. What more could we have done? What more could we have done than that? That's the best result we could have asked for this year. Definitely good season for us. Mercedes P3, and then Ferrari, and then Red Bull. Drivers and Constructors Championships for them this year. Overhauling that difficult season from last year that they had. Definitely a worthwhile season for them this year. Development point on Jack Doohan after his practice session. Very handy, very handy. And now, going into the end of the season, that is all she wrote for Season 2 of my F122 Manager career mode. So far, we are looking on course to hopefully at least maintain P4, I hope, but I really want, if the car research turns out really well and we're able to fight for wins consistently, I'm going to try and make a big push for the championship next year. But hopefully, now that we've scored some decent points, if we get the Constructors' money through for our P4 this year, we can put that money into developing the facilities so we can do more with the car, which is what I'm hoping for. But no, that guys concludes Season 2 of my F1 Manager 22 career mode. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break to do try and work on some other projects, but the Season 3 will be back with the pre-season video first, obviously. But if you guys did enjoy this episode and Season 2 for that matter, do feel free to leave a like and a comment and share this video around. It really helps. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. I'm David Clayton of KZR Racing, and we will see you for the next season, Season 3, at some point in the near future. Goodbye.